here's a look at what you need to know about the upcoming Gold Cup taking place from June 14th till July 6th. 16 teams will compete and are placed in 4 groups of 4. Saudi Arabia will feature as a guest country, and Mexico, the reigning champs, defeating Panama back in 2023, are a team to watch and one of the favorites to go all the way. So let's do a little preview of each of these groups, and we're going to start, Michael Lahoud, with Group A.
Yeah, this is eventually going to be a spotlight on Costa Rica, because there's a Costa Rica side that are under massive reconstruction. They have some experienced players that have been part of the old guard, but this has been a long time coming, and I thought they kept that old guard for far too long when you think of players that were part of that 2014 historic side that made that deep run in, right? I think it was the quarterfinals of the World Cup. But the big problem for them is, how do you score goals in a group that on paper should be winnable? Dominican Republic are a side that you should beat. Suriname are a side that you should beat, although they do have some players playing across Europe, whether it be in Central Europe or whether it be in the EFL, for their national team. So for Costa Rica, I look at 2 young players in Jalen Mitchell and Warren Madrigal. Both 20 years old, both recently on the score sheet, but it's about getting that confidence going early. They're going to be buoyed, though, by the experience at the back. And one familiar name that we've known and associated with this national team with excellence is Keylor Navas. Keylor Navas, still a part of the fray. He's got 119 caps. He's going to have to continue to have the games of his life, especially against Mexico. But it's about being competitive and finding ways to win. Francisco Calvo, alongside him in terms of the defensive unit and leadership, set piece threat, good with the ball at his feet, and this guy has a knack for scoring golazos when it comes with the Costa Rica national team. So those 2 players are going to be really important.
They've got the second best odds to get out of the group. How do you see that group finishing out? Any surprises, or you think Costa Rica is going to do it?
I think they're going to do it, and they're going to have to work for it. But if you're not giving up goals in tournament football, especially their national level, then you get your best chances. So Costa Rica, second place in the group, Mexico first.
All right, moving on next to Group B, Canada, the heavy favorites in this one. Nige, how do you see this group playing out? And are Canada going to deliver on the odds that we see to win the group?
Canada, one of the favorites, yeah. I believe that they'll win the group. Jesse Marsh has done a fantastic job, and you talk about steps forward. The progression in Canadian football has been fantastic with the players that they've got and what they do, how they go about their business, the enthusiasm, the energy. And I'd even say the squad is starting to get better and better and stronger. One thing you're going to get is you're going to get a very competitive team. They're going to compete in all aspects of the pitch. The main guy for me, obviously, is Jonathan David. Fantastic striker. 16 goals and 5 assists in 32 appearances in Ligue 1 this season. Really is a terrific striker. Showed so many different things. Showed ability of being a fox in the box, a real goal poacher, and showing the ability that he has outside of the box as well. When you look at Canada, you'd have to say he is their focal point. You need to score goals. Goals is very important in the modern game, and he is that player.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, this is why he's the feature of our Geico Get More. Jonathan David has certainly been giving Canada quite a bit. Nico, what next level can he unlock for this Canadian national team to keep them moving in the right direction and competing for trophies?
Yeah, it's the prowess, right? It's coming up in the big moments. It's what defines your legacy at this Gold Cup, but maybe even more. Looking forward towards the World Cup as well.
Yeah, I mean, just look at these numbers, Nige.
Yeah, no, the numbers are great. And he didn't start in a game that they played recently against Ivory Coast. He came on, Lowering started, got a little 10 minutes. Obviously, he doesn't have a club at the moment. I believe he's still a free transfer, so I don't know if that plays a part in the psychological aspect of it. But Jesse Marsh has got a good squad. I'd probably say now, when you look at this Canada side, the 2 dynamic players to keep an eye on are their 2 wingers. Jaden Nelson and Ali Ahmed on both sides, both from Vancouver Whitecaps. Young players, young wingers. Ali Ahmed's got great delivery from set piece. That is where the dynamism really comes from. You've got a striker that's going to score goals. They've got a lot of players playing in Europe and playing over here domestically as well. They've got a great variety.
All right, moving it along to Group C next. Nico, take us through it.
Yeah, Panama has become a strong presence, let's say it, a very strong presence in CONCACAF with a project, arguably the best cemented project in all of CONCACAF with Thomas Christensen. I do obviously expect them to go in the next round alongside Jamaica, who is also kind of in a nice little revolution for themselves. Guadeloupe and Guatemala are outsiders looking in without a shadow of a doubt. Funny enough, we're talking about guys who are saying no to the national team. Guatemala's starting striker, he played for Derby. He signed for a new team in the championship. I'm not sure which one, but his father, I believe, is Guatemalan. He's got Guatemalan heritage, so he plays for the Guatemalan national team. He asked Luis Fernando Tena, hey, I'd rather not play because I got to move, I guess, to my new team or wherever within England. So their starting striker isn't playing. Just a little anecdote going into this Gold Cup. But Panama are without Adalberto Carrasquilla, who is out with injury, and obviously he's the one that dictates a lot of play, and he's kind of been the focal point for the last I don't know how many years, every time we talk about Panama. But at Nations League, they didn't have one player who is arguably the best player. I think, in my opinion, he's Panama's best player, which is Michael Murillo, that plays for Marseille as a fullback. He was injured at the time of Nations League, and he is now, without a doubt, the main man for Panama. So I'm looking forward to see how he plays for the Canaleros.
Yeah, I mean, this Panama team, I think they also captured the hearts of a lot of people at the Nations League with that moment between Cecilia Waterman, Thierry Henry. It was a fun team to watch. It feels like they kind of have this energy to them right now, Mike, as well.
Because of some of the major injuries, right?
Yeah.
And it opens me to this. Don't sleep
Opportunities.
Don't sleep on Jamaica. Don't sleep on Jamaica to advance out of this group. May not happen, but with those injuries, Panama, the vibe, that could cost them.
I'm sorry, Jamaica has to qualify out of the group.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they should.
But win the group.
Win the group. You said get out of the group.
Yeah, these are odds to win the group.
Win the group. Okay. Jamaica, put them in there to win the group.
And it is close between Panama and Jamaica. Panama lead the way at -420, while Jamaica is at -390. So those would likely be the two teams to still get out of the group. Okay, we wrap it up with Group D, Lahoud, and we're focusing in on this Haiti side.
Yeah.
D for Disneyland?
Hey, Nigel was the one who was just singing Frozen, so if anyone's...
my buzz, and I'm going to have to get it back. Man, no, Haiti, they're the team of the network for a certain show, but Haiti, this is a team that do not sleep on, and producer is going to be loving that shout out, but do not sleep on them because they've always had players that have MLS pedigree that can prove it in Major League Soccer. But that player that I'm talking about is the likes of Fafa Fico, because Fafa not going to be a part of this Gold Cup, so that means that you have to replace some of the goals that are going to be scored there, and that's Duckens Nazon, who is the top scorer for the national team, and he's a guy that's doing it in Europe in Turkey, but he's not alone in that, because the main guy that I'm really excited to see is Philadelphia Union's own Danley Jacques. I watched him recently. He is an all-action midfielder, and if you're going to get your main man up top to get goals, this is a player who is learning to be more creative. He's a force to be reckoned with in terms of defensive battles, duels won. Haiti is really good in transition when they're on. So if they are to get out of the group next to the USA, then they will have to be the transition kings.
All right, there you have it. Who do you think is going to win Gold Cup, boys, before we go to break?
Canada.
Nige?
Canada are the favourites, in my opinion.
Are you just copying Nico's answer?
No, not really.
You believe it?
Looking from what I've seen so far, I think Canada there, but I'll keep an eye on Jamaica.
Okay.
I'll keep a close eye on Jamaica.
Do you have a different pick?
Mexico.
Okay.